Hey guys, welcome back. So, my name is Giuseppe, and today we're going to build my brother a fly fishing tie-in station. So let's get to doing this. So this is what I drew up. So I don't know if you guys can see that too well. Let me see if I can. So basically we're going to have a drawer, another drawer. We're going to have holders for his roll of thread. So these are all the measurements. These are everything that you need to build this. And that's what we're going to do today. It's a lot of pieces. Now, we are building this out of solid red oak. And the type of finish we're going to put on it is a beeswax orange peel. So, I actually found this. So, what I decided to do was make the bottom layer out of the tongue and groove. And everything worked great when we put it together, but when we went to go glue it, that was another problem. No matter which glue I had, it didn't want to hold. It was always flexing. You know, we put two together, we glue it up. I let it sit for 3 days, and when I came back, it basically just fell right in my hand. So what we end up having to do is to trim out the line a little bit. So when we countersunk it, we put the glue along the two beads, and then we inserted it into the groove and clamped it down. That's how we end up getting it to stick, and that seems to work perfect. The next step was to mill all these little pieces of oak. So we took the same tongue and groove flooring, and we end up putting it through a planer, cutting it down to size, where we got little pieces like this. Now, some of the stuff I had to go out and buy, but, you know, for my brother, it doesn't matter. So let's get to building this. That looks about right. So we're going to scuff it up a little bit, just so that the glue adheres better. Now we don't want that much squeeze out. Make sure we got the grain matched. Alright, so we're going to put this one on the side for right now. That's the drawer. Alright. There's another drawer right there, which is right there. This is your side mounts, which is right there. There's another side mount right there. And there is another drawer right there. I built the base. We got the drawers in here. So we put drawers in the side because he needs a lot of space. So we got drawers in both sides with the foam inserts. We have another drawer right in the middle. But right now we need to set the perch for his the stand that he needs to use to do his fly fishing. So let's make sure we're good. And I already put a little glue just now. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to shoot just 2 staples in it, maybe 3 staples. So this is the fly tying clamp that's going to go here. This is going to be a mini clamp that's going to give him LED lighting and magnifying, so as he's tying the flies, he can have a magnifier and a light. So these are the drawers I built, and it's got, everything is built out of oak, red oak, because I want this really to last for him. This is your top layer. Now this is 7/8 oak, which is going to go basically here. It's going to come up like this, but we're going to cut it back 4 inches because he needs yarn holder on the top. But to make it a little bit more better for him, what we're also going to do, just to give you guys a little idea, let me see if I can set this up real quick. Basically right here. So what I actually did was, which was a really cool idea. So one of my best friends, Will, he gave me some ash wood. So it used to be like this. So I actually cut this off. Now we're going to use this for something different because that's just really cool. So what I did is I cut 1.5 inches by 2 inch round. Then what I did is I took a file and I filed the groove in the middle right here. And then I took, 60 grit sandpaper and went around that to make it on an angle. I wish I would have filmed that. And then I went ahead and built one like this. And then I also built, let me show you this one real quick. So I also built that one right there. So, I had a little problem last time. So, my mistake, I messed up. But that's how we learn. I always say that it's better to try and fail than fail to try. So, I put the bottom piece on like this. As you can see, I ripped this one off. The problem was, when I got to the front of it, I was about almost 1/4 inch off. So that's a no-no. Right now, I'm dead on. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to match this side up with this side. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut a hole. Well, I got the piece here. But just to give you guys an idea, this is the piece that's going to go there. And then I cut this out of a walk-in box freezer. It has the styrofoam inlay. So we're going to place the styrofoam in here like this. And then we'll trim it down. We're going to cut a hole through this so it fits the styrofoam. So my brother could have somewhere to stick a pencil, a pair of scissors, a screwdriver, whatever he needs to place there. So right now we're going to route this. So let's get crack-a-lacking. Alright. Okay, this has got to be on low speed. So this is in my way. So I'm going to mount this back here now. Alright, there we go. Alright, so basically, it's going to sit just like that. So we're going to have to make the same things we made on this one, which is the longer dowels to support the top end. We don't want too much glue because we don't want a lot of squeeze out. So we want to make sure when we get the glue on that it's spread evenly. And you don't need a lot of this glue. This glue is really incredible glue. To clamp this, we're going to use another block on top so we can get the pressure that we need. The only problem I'm going to have is trying to get the front to clamp. So to do that one, now yes, it's overkill to use such a big clamp, but this is all I have that can spread enough to get the front for my project. Now, throughout the week I was messing with a lot of different types of glue because I want to make the wood filler match the existing wood that I'm using to build the tie fishing station. And I use Titebond 3, I use Titebond 2, and the one thing I found was that it does leave like this yellow tone or yellow color to the wood filler. But the one great thing that I did discover is Titebond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface. It comes out white, but it dries clear. And when you make the wood filler out of that, you don't see no yellow tint, you don't see nothing. Especially after you sand it, the shiny part goes away. So we're going to make some wood filler so we can fill a little bitty imperfections in this. And you guys can see the difference between making wood filler out of this stuff and making wood filler out of this stuff. Yes, this does cost a lot more, but the benefits outweigh the cost. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to alright. So what we can do in the meantime is bring this down. Now, I only use the sander for the 60 and 80 grit. Everything else I'm doing by hand because I think it's better and I have more control over it. The sander's great, but sometimes it just requires finesse instead of pure quickness and power. Okay, now that this is dry, what we're going to do is we're going to drill the holes to match the dowels on the bottom. And the way I do that, so I have a template right here that we're going to use to cut the holes in. We got no tear out, which is a beautiful thing. Now we just got to finish drilling the holes into the bottom. Now what we'll do is we'll match this up. So that's on the money right there. So I drew two lines on the left and on the right, and those are my markers so that I don't drill in the wrong spots. Now this is where you want to try to hold the drill as straight as possible. Now you don't have to go all the way through, just make an indent, and then you can remove the template and finish marking the holes. So just a little small indent. Okay. So now we have the indent. Now we'll continue to cut the holes in. I could use the drill press to do this, but alright, now that we got that, we can take this and we can test fit it right now. That looks on the money to me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to clamp the back. Lock the back down tight. Okay, that's where she needs to go. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut this dowel off so that we get the first impression right. And then we can go for the other ones. Okay. You don't have to cut them 100% flat right now until you actually get in the set. Once you get in the set, then you can go off and just trim the rest off, and then it's a solid, nice, tight fit. So the way I do that is I'll take it off like this. Okay. And I'll leave those just like that. Oops, too much. Mink you. Alright, so now we're going to have a lot of squeeze out on this. I know it. Okay, we got to get that right. Because if that's not right, when we go to drill the hole, we'll mess everything up. Now we're going to have to reset these. Make sure you have glue on the sides where it's going to connect to the top piece. Now we're going to set this in. Okay, so now we need to check. Okay. 1 3/8, 1 3/8, 1 3/8. That's perfect. Alright, now we got to clamp this shut and then down. So to do that, we're going to have to use Big Daddy Bessie. Okay, that's good. Now I would recommend use 3 clips on this. 3 clamps. So you get the left, the right, and the middle. Actually, you know what? 4 clamps. Let's get the side here as well. Alright. Flush saw. And go nice and slow. We don't want to scar the wood on the bottom. So we just keep it nice and flush and nice and soft. I like to take like 180 grit and just kick up a little sawdust so that it will go into the seam where the glue seam is, and it will blend. So you don't really see the seam too much. You know it's there, but you really can't tell. Okay, so what we got to do right now is we're going to have to put the wood filler. Alright, so we got some really fine sawdust. So we're going to put a little bit of this glue in there. Just like this. We take out some sawdust, sprinkle it right on top. Then we just mix it in. Can you guys tell where it is? I'll tell you where it is. It's right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sand it. Okay guys, let's try to cut this time and not make a mistake. This is how it went wrong last time. Trying to put a round over. We can get this to feel really nice. Alright, there we go guys. Let me show you how that looks. That's how it looks right there. So now my brother could easily take a pair of scissors, pop it all the way down, and he'll be cool. My brother needs holders for the thread or the yarn or the hair. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm just going to call it yarn or thread. So he needs holders for the thread. So what I came up with was to cut a separate piece and put 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 holes in it. So if he needs to adjust it for the size of the thread, he could easily take, you know, one and put it here, or he could put another one here, or he can put it here. He can switch it around or move it around to his preference. So that's what we're going to do today. So now this has all been finished with the wax. So what we need to do is just take the wax off of this area. And it's not that hard, it's just basically a little sanding. Because we can put it right back. And then we're going to glue this piece to the top mount, which is going to leave 1.25 inches from each side. Now we want to stay away from gluing the holes. So we'll just put the glue on like that. And then I'll use my finger to channel the glue where I need it and where I don't want it. Just like that. Now I put a piece of blue tape on the left and right to map out exactly where it needs to sit. We'll let that sit for about 1.5 hours. It is finally finished. If you haven't already subscribed and you like the content, I ask you to hit that subscribe button because it really does help the channel out. And if you really like it, give me one of those. That really helps. And we have a lot of exciting things coming to the channel. I hope you guys stick around. And I will see you guys on the next build. Ciao for now.